This is Sport Talk with your host, Zach Mason.
Hello, you are listening to the Sport Talk with Zach Mason. My name is Zach Mason, and today we're going to go over the Sunshine Athletic Conference games, what the bracket's looking like, and last week's game against Graceville for Baker. And I do also have interview with Joe Brunson and also an interview with Coach Brunson after the game on Graceville for Friday. And other than that, we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. I have it written down here. I have like a little bracket right here you can't really see. I just kind of wrote it down, drew it up. But Baker played Graceville this past Friday, and they beat Graceville 35-6, which it should have been 35-0. It's whatever. They scored last second when the backups were in. It was no fun. Anyways, Sneeds beat Weewaw, and it was a pretty handed victory. So they are going to be playing Sneeds this coming Friday. What day will that be? That'll be the October 30th. That'll be on the 30th. They'll play Sneeds. Sneeds is, 5-1. Sneeds is 5-1. Their only loss is to Bluntstown. They lost to them 20-17. But Sneeds isn't really much of a dynamic kind of offense. They're pretty much just one-sided, just like Baker is for the most part. They run the ball from pretty much the entire time, but I'll get into that in a second. Port St. Joe played Holmes County, and they beat them pretty handedly. I think it was like 42-7, something like that. But they will play the winner of the Jefferson County and Bluntstown game. Now, I don't know. Looking on Max Preps, I don't know if Bluntstown and Jefferson County have played yet. I don't know what that has to do with. I don't know. I'm not going to get into it just because I don't really know much, so it's not really my place to say. Anyways, with that being said, I'm just going to go over, like I said, Sneeds did lose to Bluntstown 20-17. They are 5-1. Their main players are number 22, Calvin Stringer. He has 98 carries, 792 yards, and 9 touchdowns on the season. So it looks like he's their workhorse for their offense. And number 5, Jason Patterson, their quarterback, 53 carries, 375 yards, and 7 touchdowns. So Baker's going to have to key in on those two players for the most part here Friday night to seal out the victory to play the winner of the Port St. Joe and whoever comes out of Bluntstown and Jefferson County. So we'll get to see what those two teams, 3 teams, how they're going to play out on that side of the bracket, and then we'll see who the Sunshine Athletic Conference champion is. Last year it was Bluntstown, but they did have a really good team last year. This year, I think they're 2-3, so they're not as good this year. But I mean, who knows? Miracles happen. So other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and roll the Brunson interview with Joe Brunson, and here it is. All right, I'm here with Joe Brunson, running back of the Baker Gators, basically the star of the Baker Gators. He plays all around, free safety, linebacker, running back, little bit of quarterback wherever he needs to be. This year so far, he has 124 carries for 903 yards through 5 games with 8 touchdowns. And last year he had 283 carries with 2,200 yards with 23 touchdowns. And on the defensive side, he had 31 total tackles this year, and last year he had 74. So, Joe, this year, obviously, most people know you as the coach's son. You're Matt Brunson's son, so a lot of people know you for that. But a lot of people also know you for being such a hardworking player and all that stuff. So although you are the coach's son, and that brings a lot of pressure on you specifically, but what is it also at your senior year? So what does that bring to the table so far as this year?
I mean, being my senior year, I'm just enjoying school right now. I don't have any classes. On the football side of things, I'm trying to do better than I did last year. I'm looking forward to playing college ball, and I'm trying to excel on the field to see what I can get in the future offer-wise.
I saw you. Did you go with Gavin to Reinhardt?
Yeah, I went with Gavin to Reinhardt. I didn't really I'm not big into the photo shoot like Gavin was, but I got a couple pictures with my family.
Yeah, I saw that. So yeah. It's great to get the offers and go to visits and all that kind of stuff. That's the exciting thing about college football, especially in high school. Yeah. One thing that I've always seen, and I played with you a couple of years ago, is the work you put in the weight room, not only during football season, just year round. what has the weight room been such? The weight room has been such a success for you, and why do you put so much emphasis on the weight room yourself specifically?
I mean, to be honest, when I started working out, I did it just because I thought my dad wanted me to. I mean, I didn't really see like me getting much from it. But I mean, now that I've gotten older, I mean, the stronger guy in the field always going to win. And I mean, my strength levels in the weight room have gone up tremendously over the past 2 years. And I mean, I'm seeing a lot, like, I'm seeing it improve my play on the field, I guess you could say.
Absolutely. Your dad puts so much highlight on the weight room. Even before you were even in the picture, he'd always put in the weight room just from past. And I've known you ever since we were little, so I know that your dad has always been spotlighting you ever since you came out the womb. So this year obviously hasn't been what you expected it to be, with it being your senior season and all, with COVID and all that kind of stuff. So what have you and your team taken away from these 5 games so far and coming into conference play so far this week?
I mean, I don't think we played great. Out of our 5 games, our best game would be South Walton. I mean, we got to clean up our penalties. We're kind of sloppy right now. But all in all, we're getting it done in the second half. We're just starting out. We've been starting out slow. We got to change that tonight with Rocky Bayou. But, I mean, we're just happy to be playing. In the summer, we didn't even know if we'd have a game. And now we're looking to get our next 6 games at home. We're 5-0. So, I mean, we're right where we want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to sit at 5-0 with the big old goose egg on the other side of the record column. So y'all obviously play Rocky Bayou tonight, and I'm not going to really go into that one that much, but y'all start conference play this Friday against Graceville. So what have y'all started working on that at all? Have y'all game plan for that? I know y'all had an off week last week, so.
I mean, we have not looked at Graceville yet. I've looked a little bit at them on film. I know what they got. I know they still got Lil Sorry that's offered by everybody in the country, but all in all, I think we'll be able to handle them just fine on Friday.
Okay. Well, other than that, I think that's it. I want to thank you again, Joe, for coming on, and I wish the best of luck to you, not even for high school, just going on in college and all that stuff. So good luck, Joe.
All right. Thanks, man. Means a lot.
Yes, sir. So that was Joe Brunson's interview. Thanks, Joe, again for letting me spotlight you a little bit and give you an interview. And I plan to give more players interviews in the coming weeks. I'm going to try to get either Caleb Wagner or Seth Basket. I'm going to try to get one of those 2 players for this week, and if I get one, I'll try and get the other one next week, and I'll just keep getting more players and just kind of spotlight them a little bit and give them a little bit more. I already said spotlight. I don't know the other word. Anyways, so for Graceville's game, the first half was absolutely terrible. It was so bad. I mean, I say that, but Baker did play pretty well all around, except for just in the backfield. They fumbled the ball every possession they had, and it was bad. They were in the red zone like 3 out of the 4 possessions they had in the first half. It was a pretty quick first half because both teams were just running the ball for the most part. Graceville did have one player. His name's Quavo Sorry. I think that's his first name, but his last name's Sorry. For those who don't know who that is, he also has a cousin who used to play at Graceville. His cousin, Xavier Sorry, went to IMG, plays linebacker, and he's pretty good. I did play against him, and he was. I mean, for a 1A team, he was the star. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, Graceville's team has not always been. It's not always been great. It was good a few years ago. My sophomore year, I think they were pretty good. We played them in the playoffs and all that stuff. But as of late, they just haven't really been that great of a team. They, I don't mean to bash on Graceville, but they just don't really play well as a team together. Because as far as I can remember, every time we scored, they would just argue and all that kind of stuff. Not with us, but within each other. So that's just not really a really good team trait you want to have. But I mean, who knows? They could pull it back together here in the next year or 2, maybe next year, maybe the year after that. Who knows? But we may see a good Graceville team here in the next coming years, because if they can find somebody who can throw the ball to Sorry, that team's going to be a big problem. And I mean that with my entire heart if Sorey doesn't go to IMG. But yeah, so that's like Graceville's team. But like I said, they did have 4 turnovers in the first half. It should have been 28-0. Graceville only had 15 players on their team. They only had 4 players on the sideline. It was bad. It shouldn't have been 0-0 at halftime. But anyways, in the second half, they did finally start holding on to the ball. They didn't have any turnovers the second half. They scored every possession they had. It was a 35-6 victory. Like I said, they scored 35 points in the second half. But it was all around. It was a good game. If you want to just put the second half in, the first half was a good half for everybody else but the Packs. They were. It was just not good. But I mean, it's something to learn from because then again, they are only 7 games in, so they are 7 games in, so they still have a couple more weeks until playoffs come around. So it'll be exciting to see what Baker has in store for us here in the next coming weeks because I know Brunson always has something up his sleeve. One thing I did notice is Brunson did try to run the option with Caleb Wagner and Joe Brunson a little bit. I'll get into that. Joe Brunson, he had 26 carries, 217 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Caleb Wagner, he had 11 carries, 164 yards, and 1 touchdown. And surprisingly enough, whenever I was at the game, I did not expect this, but Seth Basket, number 34, he plays fullback, but he's also mainly their star linebacker of the team. He had 7 carries for 101 yards and 1 touchdown. A couple of them were big breakaway tackles, and he has some speed that you wouldn't expect. But I mean, it's good to see coming from a fullback. Whenever you can get the ball in like a trap play and you can just break it off for 30 or 40 yards, so that's good to see. But yeah, I'm gonna roll the Brunson interview that I had with them after the game. So here's that.
All right, I'm here with Brunson after a 35-6 victory, Coach. Pretty slow start in the first half with a bunch of turnovers and all that stuff, but your defense held on pretty well. But in the second half, y'all just came out guns blazing. And how does it feel to come out here on a homecoming night, especially for your seniors, for your son Joe, and all that kind of stuff, and just getting a victory tonight?
Well, the key stat for our team right now is we're 7-0, and we came into our conference play as the number 1 seed. And our first half, our defense played great. Offensively, we didn't get going. We played 2 games this week. Maybe we were getting over that homecoming lag a little bit there, but definitely proud of the way we played the third and fourth quarter. And now we can focus on 1 game a week. And there won't be any weak opponents left. There'll be some very good football teams that we have to play in the rest of the conference play, and then going into the playoffs. But we like where we're at, and we just got to keep playing.
As you said, you're picking at the right time. You're moving on to round 2 in that Sunshine Athletic Conference. You play Sneeds next week. How do you feel about them?
Sneeds is very athletic, very good, a little bit, much like this team tonight, but a little bit better. So we'll have our hands full, but I hope we'll play 4 quarters well, and we'll definitely have a great week of preparation and see what comes out next week.
All right, like I said, you're picking at the right time. Good luck, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Thank you again, Coach Brunson, for letting me interview you after the games. I do the interviews live on Crestview Community Television after every game. I don't commentate the games as much anymore. I'm kind of just on the sideline so I can get a better view and be around the players and understand what their mindset is and all that kind of stuff. And also I'm friends with a lot of them, so I can be there, give them some tips, some pointers, and all that kind of stuff. I was kind of helping out the offensive line a lot. I was trying to give them, like, seeing what I see, like, to look at what I saw on the field that they might have not seen. I was just going over there, just be like, hey, this guy's here. Whenever y'all run this play, you need to block. Like, whenever you get the chance to block him, get him out of there, and then it's a touchdown and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, moving on to Sneeds, like I said, they are pretty much one-dimensional. They don't really throw the ball much. I think they have like 8 or 9 passes on the entire year so far. So we're going to see a lot of running. It's probably going to be a short game. Not going to be a lot of balls thrown. So, yeah. Like I said, they're going to want to watch out for Calvin Stringer, number 22, and number 5, Jason Patterson. They're pretty much their workhorse for that team. So I'm sure Brunson's already told them to key in on that. Another key thing is, as most of you know, we're going to have another hurricane come through. I don't know if it's going to come through here. I don't think it's coming through here, but it's going to be like in this area. I know we're getting a lot of rain. So for also those who don't know, I do sub at the school, so I do get like calls and all that stuff like from Okaloosa County School District to like tell me or tell people like what the school situation is and all that stuff. So I got a call and I didn't see it, but they left a voicemail, and it was basically saying that they're not canceling school, but it's all for Wednesday. I'm recording this on Tuesday, so for Wednesday, they're not going to do any kind of after-school activities, so I don't know if there will be football practice. So it'll be interesting to see what they do in spite of the hurricane coming through. But anyways, I think that's it. Be ready to watch the game on Friday against Sneeds, and then whoever wins that game will go on to play the Port St. Joe and the winner of the Blountstown and Jefferson County game. So if Blountstown wins, then I think Jefferson County is like 0-5. So I think I have a good feeling that Blountstown's going to win that game, just because as I've looked like on Max Preps and all that stuff, they've really, what's the word? They've really improved over the season. So other than that, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. This has been the Sport Talk with Zach Mason. I'm not going to put dates on here anymore because I never know when I'm going to post it. So it's just no point at this point. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
This is Sport Talk with your host, Zach Mason.